Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 between two of the top North American heroes of the Storm team. These teams, the storyline between them is well known. Tempo Storm trying to get themselves back on the throne as the most undisputed and dominant team in North American history. While Barrow Boys trying to, trying to get that reign going on, man. They want the reign of the boys in the barrel. A team with a very outspoken fan base. They are just looking to get that here, and they're real close, Haas. I've been impressed by their play ever since I first saw them.
Yeah, and we're now essentially in a best of one. You can forget the Sky Temple game. You can forget the Garden of Terror game.
That's
all
right.
down to Blackheart's Bay. And again, some interesting team compositions coming out.
Yes. So, we have seen Jaina 2 out of the 3 games, Illidan 2 out of the 3. And looking over on the side, we'll just go with blue first, alphabetical here, B before red. Looking at the side of Barrow Boys, picking up a Brightwing, which is a hero who really has fallen off the meta here in North America. She was probably received the biggest nerf of any hero in the Lost Viking patch. Just so much was changed about her. Her phase shift was increased on cooldown. The Pixie Dust was nerfed. The Arcane Dust was nerfed. Her Critter Size was, I'm sorry, Rewind was taken from level 13 to 20. And we don't see her as much. We see her every now and then, but obviously Barrow Boys right now, they're picking her up. And what I'm thinking right now is that Rhaegar was banned and they wanted a Brightwing over Malfurion.
Had to be that Rhaegar was banned. I kind of strongly dislike Blizzard for what they did to Brightwing. She was my favorite hero to play.
Dude, same.
I was the support main. Like, it went from Brightwing Uther every game to now just Uther Malfurion for like when I was still playing, and it was horrible. I tried getting Brightwing into more games, but it just wasn't possible. I have no clue why they touched her Pixie Dust. It made no sense at all. But yeah, getting rid of Rewind was what was needed. I'm still not a big fan of the increased cooldown on phase shift, but hey ho, we are seeing some more different talent builds come out of Brightwing now. Which is certainly interesting. I mean, the 13 talent's a big one for me. I've seen slow on Q, I've seen sprint, and I really like shield on phase shift. Like, I think around level 13, it's about an 1100 shield for 3 seconds.
Wow.
Put that on Jaina. Yeah. Yeah.
Or Illidan as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at what Illidan, I mean, Illidan does have his good old buddy backing him up, Tassadar.
Yeah.
As that's really the hero that really enables Illidan to do devastating amounts of damage in team fights. Normally behind that, we see either Rhaegar, Malfurion, or Uther. Not necessarily a Brightwing. Brightwing's healing isn't really on demand per se. I mean, Blink heal is a little underwhelming. You get it you get it for kind of some supplemental heals, and the mobility is one of the big reasons why you get it. You can forego cleanse at level 7 and get gust of healing, but again, that's over 4 seconds. It's not that instantaneous heal that you get from like a chain heal on Rhaegar, a holy light on Uther. So I'm interested to see how Illidan does with kind of an unorthodox healing support in backlines of Brightwing. Looking over here on the side of Tempo Storm, what do you think though?
I just want to stop you. Apparently you're muted.
Oh yeah. Oh no! All right, ladies and gentlemen, for you lip readers out there, good job.
Yeah.
Good job right there. Sorry about that. Pulling the page out of Four Court's book. No, I'm just kidding. I love Four Court. He actually did that last night as well. So now you guys can hear me. We were talking a little bit about Barrow Boys draft. At least you could hear Haas talking about it. Yep. Why don't we talk about Tempo Storm's draft a little bit?
Yeah, so everyone can hear Tempo Storm. So straight away we see a ton of damage. Nazebo Valor, 2 top tier picks. I would assume that also with Rhaegar banned, Hammer must have been banned. Blackhearts is a map where Hammer is pretty strong. Just let her siege up in the bot lane and it's all good. But the lack of Hammer surprises me here. So we've got Valor and Nazebo to compensate for damage wise. Diablo now coming in to his own as a tier 1 tank pick. Just provides so much. 2 forms of CC, a little bit of damage in there. And of course is a straight up A Nazebo counter if you go Apocalypse, or B combines so well with the Uther Divine Storm with the Lightning Breath. Speaking of Uthers, we've got Tyrande as a kind of pseudo support, pseudo assassin in there as well to try and help them out. And it looks like Glaurung's going to be going for the damage build. We've already got the Ranger's mark. Expect the Lunar Flare talents at 13 and 16 as well, and Battle Momentum at 7.
All right, Haas, without further ado, now that the audience can hear me, I sincerely apologize about that, ladies and gentlemen. I thought I hit the unmute button, but apparently I didn't. Let's get this game underway. Ready to go here. We're at 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Ba-bam. So game 3 between these teams. It's all about who is going to get the money right now. There's a long qualifier ahead. So even if the loser of this team, they're still going to have plenty of opportunities to keep themselves seated for the postseason of Heroes Premier League Season 2. It's going to be Kyondai on Tassadar, Arrow on Stitches. And like I said, we saw the Arrow Stitches in Game 1. We're going to see it once again. It's going to be a treat, especially on a map like Blackheart's Bay that enables Stitches to get some crazy hooks off. Blink's playing the Brightwing. Hope he goes Blink Kills, so his name is so literal. Trummel on Jaina, and Mick McIntyre on Illidan.
And the level 1 aggression is going to be minimal. Trummel just going to secure the watchtower. Something I'd really like to see in this team fight, or in these team fights later on, is Face Shield Brightwing onto Illidan into Emerald Wind.
Ooh.
I'd love to see that.
That would be beautiful.
But I feel like Blink Kill is going to be the way to go here. Team's not opting to push out top lane. Dreadnought is up here, but you can't really push into a Tassadar, Brightwing and Jaina. So much AoE damage is going to come down there. So instead they're going to 3-man push this mid lane and create some pressure there as the chest spawn just about now. Who's going to come out on top?
So 3 versus 3 Mexican standoff contention up here at the top shrine. Glarong is retreating down to the bottom shrine, looking like they might try to get a pick off here on McIntyre. Illidan is definitely one of the slipperier heroes to try to pick up here. Tassadar is going to be backing him up, coming from the north as well. The top shrine, though, looks like that, or I'm sorry, not the top shrine, the top chest went the way of Barrel Boys. Airho has 5 coins all to himself. So he's going to be bringing that one all the way to the bank, assuming he doesn't die on the way there.
Yeah.
Down the bottom lane, a little bit of a wash.
And we're actually going to see some aggression. 4-on-4 engage onto Erho. The Tassadar shield is there, but that doesn't matter. They're going to stun him up and trying to kill him through all the heals and shields and can't seem to get to him.
Ooh. So very close on getting a kill on Airho. Now the turnaround on a soldier. Can they pick him off? No, they can't get him off too. Trummel is in the thick of it as a Jaina. A great shield from Tassadar. Gonna go down to the last right click of Glarong's Tyrande. Dreadnought might be a reprisal kill. Kyonda's looking for it, but no. He is gonna be able to heal himself up. A Hunter's Mark kind of just going to no man's land. Not gonna land anywhere. And just a quick test in the waters from both these teams, testing each other out, saying, all right, who's gonna win these early game skirmishes? And that exchange right there is gonna be going the way of Tempo Storm.
And this is exactly what they needed. Coming off a loss on Garden of Terror, we're seeing the Brightwing TP come in for Blinks. That was down bot onto Illidan, so they're trying to create some more pressure down there. Soldier trying to engage onto Erho yet again in the mid lane, but they're going to get the hook onto Arthlon, force the healing ward, and he's going to have to back out of that one.
Small experience advantage going the way of Tempo Storm, more than likely attributed to that kill they got up in the top lane just a couple of moments ago. Looking at the level 4 talents, it looks like we're seeing pretty much standard stuff across the board. Amplified healing on both of the warriors on both sides of the map. Gathering power for Witch Doctor. The healing wards coming out from Tassadar and Tyrande. And Immolation from Illidan. Oh, Jaina. Oh, Jaina. Oh, Jaina.
That was so much CC. This is what they tried doing on Sky Temple, but found it a little bit trickier. Whereas here, that was a very nice hook from Erho. Very nice prediction from him.
Oh, no. Soldier just got hooked into the walls of Barrel Boys. Tempo Storm narrowly able to get the wall down there underneath the tier 1 tower in mid lane to secure his getaway. I thought Soldier was dead, but they were able to get him out of there. So they're going to be getting level 7 here in just a moment. Looking at the coin count, we have 4 for Tempo Storm and 12 on the side of Barrel Boys. So Barrel Boys definitely is the one with all the change in the pocket, though they are behind on experience. So they got to find a moment to where they can safely turn those coins in, or they are going to be taken away from them by force from Tempo Storm.
They certainly are. We're seeing the Clairvoyance come out of Uther. It's a map where CV isn't really used too often. I mean, the only time you really use it is for the boss later on in the game. And the Regen Master on Stitches is an interesting one. Of course, that does get help with amplified healing, and there are so many camps on the map to take. But even so, I just feel like Chew Your Food even in the long run, is a little bit more worth it. But hey, each to their own. We'll see how Urho does persist throughout these later fights.
Another talent choice to be noted is Tassadar picking up the Mule.
Yeah.
Now, Mule is a great and effective talent on this map. It's so effective at mitigating the damage of the turn-ins, which we are going to be seeing the first turn-in of the match for Tempo Storm as we speak. That's going to be getting these top towers right here, and there's the Mule healing it up as we mentioned. Now, if this Mule wasn't in play, that'd be a dead fort. But due to the Mule healing up the towers, now the fort is going to have a little bit more health, and more importantly, is going to be alive. The trade-off for that, though, is a pretty big damage boost for Tassadar, giving up the static charge, which makes it anyone hit by Psionic Storm basically take a critical strike from his next right-click. So trading the damage for a little bit more utility for Barrel Boys.
So we actually saw that as the Mule was on the tower. We saw good old Mr. Blackheart target the first tower, and the Mule healed it up, and then they came in with some damage. The first shot destroyed the tower because of the damage that came in after the targeting. The second one was essentially a waste, and that Mule, if it wasn't there, as you said,
yep,
the fort would have gone down. Also, CV on Nazebo.
Wow. Double clairvoyance.
I'm surprised
that is
we
something
didn't
I don't
see Mule. Like, Mule on Nazebo makes sense. Clairvoyance, certainly not so.
They could have gone Mulelist on Tyrande as well, as I believe she can pick it up a level 7.
Yeah, but I feel like if you go and damage Tyrande, battle momentum is
yes,
a lot stronger in there. So many more stuns, so many more hours, and so many more heals in the fights.
Tempo Storm has their eyes on this fort, as they know that Barrel Boys has themselves a Mule. And as you saw just a few moments ago, ladies and gentlemen, that fort was at about 1/4 HP. And once again, the Mule showing its effectiveness, paying itself off. Healing that fort up. One more Mule, it's going to be at full HP. And that is going to make the next turn-in from Tempo Storm just that less effective. Looking at the heroics, though, excellent. Blinks did go Blink Heal. So that's going to be a tongue twister into these team fights once they actually happen. Pretty much standard across the board, though. We're not going to see that Emerald Wind phase shift shield initiation that you were talking about, as I would have loved to see that. We're going to see more the mobility coming out from the Blink Kill. Dreadnought, though, he's going to get caught out, forcing the Water Elemental out, but a kill onto the Uther is going to give them a big experience boost and help even out this experience discrepancy that they are at.
Yeah, Blink Heal is kind of expected here for the Brightwing. There is no other source of healing, especially when Brightwing took Cleanse at level 7 instead of either Gust of Healing or the other one. Soothing Mist? No.
Yep.
Yep. So, obviously needing to compensate for the heal in some way. They have the Healing Water Tuster, but that's never enough, so having to go for the Blink Heal. Actually heals a surprising amount. At this level is 108. So that's what, 10% of an assassin? Maybe a little bit less?
A little bit less. Jaina has 2,000 HP, so around maybe
5%.
8 or 9%.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, yes. Math is hard for Shenguchi. We've already talked about that, ladies and gentlemen.
Even so, it's quite a significant amount for essentially what it is as well. It's a blink for Brightwing. It means that Brightwing can go to that front line, polymorph the Valor, polymorph the Tyrande, polymorph the Uther that's engaged, and then just blink straight back out. Even polymorph the Nazebo while he's using his Ravenous Spirit and jump straight back out of there. As they're trying to get a turn in here, as Urho now gets caught.
He gets caught out and absolutely knocked out of the game immediately. A seamless transition and well-coordinated team fight for Tempo Storm. Not only are they going to gain themselves a kill, but the big thing to take home right there out of that hoss is 10 more coins. Yet another turn-in. That's going to start barraging down this mid fort right here, which still is alive. The power of the Mule is going to help mitigate that. But it's going to transition up here to the top fort, which is going to take these tier 1 towers down, depending on how much health that Mule repairs on the tower. It's going to be interesting to see if it's actually going to do any damage whatsoever to the tier 1 fort. Now it looks like Tempo Storm is going to be swinging up here to the boss and trying to get themselves a lot more pressure in that top lane.
Yeah, this is a tricky situation for them, it has to be said. Yeah, I thought they'd have to back away from that one. With Kaonda so close with Trommel and Urho, the Oracle off of cooldown would just reveal everything. Brightwing could TP up. And Tyrande obviously no mobility. Speaking of mobility in Tyrande, she's having a little bit of trouble versus Illidan.
She is just trying to dodge away from that Illidan, but she is so far out from the rest of her team. She is going to go down, though the reinforcements have arrived for Tempo Storm. They're trying to catch up to McIntyre, who has a large sum of money in 8 coins. So a really aggressive rotation going the way of, or I'm sorry, but from the Illidan, killing off the Tyrande. But they ended up dying himself and giving up 8 coins. Wherever he goes down, Tempo Storm immediately responds by going to the turn-in.
And they need to try and keep Urho at bay while Soldier gets his hand in of 9 coins. He does block the hook, but can't block the Jaina damage. Wall of Zombies is going to do a little bit more, but it just really gives Tempo Storm more time to regain, group up, and now these chests are a well-timed distraction for them, let's say.
Where did Tassadar get picked off? I didn't see that gank right there.
Under the fort by Vala, 1v1.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's definitely something you don't want to do in 1v1 with Vala, as she is one of the best man-fighting, or woman-fighting, heroes in the game with just incredible damage, able to get away with Vault, and the lifesteal that is intrinsically built into her skill set. Chests are here. Looks like the coins, looking at the coins, we have 11 for Tempo Storm and 7 for Barrel Boys. A little bit 7-Eleven action. Get your smoothies, get your hot dogs, then get yourself to the bathroom immediately afterwards, as these teams are duking it out. Level 16 about to be here for Tempo Storm, getting themselves yet another turn-in. Going to get this fort down, which is at full HP due to that mule. The mule being used, it looks like it's actually not going to be too much of a use. The mule might have been used a little bit prematurely there, as the damage from the shots from Blackheart is going to take it down. Might have been a little bit smarter to save it for after the barrage and try to keep alive any of the other structures. But nonetheless, not a very huge deal. Nothing to write home about. Tempo Storm fall into their bruiser camp. Going to put some pressure in this top lane, while Barrel Boys looks like they rotate to get the boss.
Yeah, they've got bottom bruiser here, have Tempo Storm, and their own bruiser camp. This is a pretty ballsy move coming out from Barrel Boys. They get CV'd by one of the two. Interesting that they have Strafe against this Stitches and Brightwing combination rather than the Rain of Vengeance, but hey ho. They know this boss is going on, but they can't do anything about it because Tyrande and Diablo are so far away. Now the Putrid Bile comes out as a defensive maneuver. They're going to get this one for free.
That Brightwing is so hard to kill as Dreadnought tries to get a kill onto Brightwing with the Divine Storm. However, they are able to get the kill onto the Stitches. Nonetheless, Breathe Fire being used, Uther going down as well. A 1-for-1 exchange. We've been seeing that time and time again from these two teams as they juke it out. Up here in the top lane, a 2-for-1. Barrel Boys were able to get the boss, though. Looking at the coins, though, we have 12 for Barrel Boys and 10 for Tempo Storm. Barrel Boys has just enough to get a turn-in, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. Recognizing that Tempo Storm has to respond to this boss is going to give them a little breathing room. Even though they're down a man, they still are going to have a little breathing room to roam across the map, push some lanes in, and get some coins.
Now I've seen every level 13 talent that is possible to be taken by Brightwing in competitive play.
Not used to seeing that ice block, huh?
I saw it every now and again back when Brightwing was played and you'd go Emerald Wind because at level 20 the 2 more Emerald Winds would persist through the ice block. But
Right,
even
yeah.
so, even in the new patch, I've seen the slow on the Q, I've seen sprint, I've seen phase shift, and now ice block, and I'm loving it. I still love Brightwing as a hero. She is so versatile in what she does. And McIntyre's getting a hand in here, but they're going to be 1 coin short. He's not even able to get that hand in because Glaurung going to stop that one.
Long-range sniper of Tyrande. Once he hits those 13 and 16 talents, they're able to keep him out of the bank. No transaction being made between the Barrel Boys and a Blackheart, who certainly had an open barrel for those coins to be pocketed into, but not going to come to pass. A lot of contention and heavy rotation from Tempo Storm on top of this turn-in. They have 10 coins, they have 14 coins, they have more than enough for a turn-in. Barrel Boys quick on their heels to respond to this, though, as they recognize none of the Tempo Storm were on the map, especially since bottom lane was pushing in. That's a big giveaway that something shady is going on. They responded appropriately. Good game sense. Initiation coming from shoulder. There's the Breathe Fire. Shrink Ray being used, though. Diablo is now a little man. He has to go down. He does go down nonetheless. Going to be back in the team fight, though, with the skill set that he has. McIntyre is going to go down. That's a lot of coins on the field. Dreadnought is slow. The Arcane Flare is going to get the 3 points. Uther is going to go down as well. Blinks has got to be careful. Oh, using the Ice Block and the Blink Kill to keep himself alive. Soldier is back in this team fight, though. Now a 4v4 And Barrel Boys might be out of gas as Soldiers full health, full mana, everything off of cooldown except that Breathe Fire. And Barrel Boys are going to be able to get away cleanly. But nonetheless, with their tails tucked behind them there.
And where do they want to move now? It seems like they're going to go towards bot lane. Maybe grab the easy camp without trying to grab Kyonda first. But they've already got this siege camp push in. They can take the enemies away with relative ease if they so wanted. But chests have spawned at the perfect time for them. Win a fight, chest spawn for you. What more could you ask for? They already have 8 coins on their side. 10 are spawning. That will give them exactly 18. And that's exactly what Blackheart demands of them.
And with Tassadar being down, Tassadar is a pivotal hero to be taken out because he just provides so much in team fights that not having him on your team really weakens you. And with that being said, I don't think Barrel Boys are going to be able to contend this turn-in. And it looks like they know it, as Brightwing is just trying to push out bottom lane, soak up some experience. His compadres in the top lane are going to get a bruiser camp, apply some pressure to this top lane. And now Blackheart is going to volley once again into the fray. The bottom towers are pretty healthy. Mid is pretty healthy. Yep. We might be seeing a keep go down here, Haas.
We may indeed. It's going to go for the tower first, but we should see a keep fall. They're going to grab this bot easy. They could rotate towards the bot bruiser camp as well if they wanted to, and gain even more pressure down in that bot lane just to help them out, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Boss is up in 50 seconds. It looks like the team of Barrel Boys know this. They're going to be pushing out mid lane and push out bottom lane and try and set up for that boss, try and get some counter pressure going their way.
Oh, the keep in mid lane barely gets taken out there. It was so close to not going down. If that mule from Tassadar was just an inkling sooner, it might have lived. But the keep goes down. The damage has been done. Tempo Storm narrowly ahead. Going to get that level 20 a little bit sooner over Barrel Boys. Getting their bruiser camp on the map, and they're just playing the Blackheart's Bay game here, Haas. We are ahead. We know we're ahead. We know you're afraid to take a team fight, especially once they hit level 20. We're going to roam across the map, put pressure in your lanes via mercenary camps, put pressure on your base via gold and turn-ins, and you got to do something. Right now, Barrel Boys are the ones who have to be the aggressors here, not necessarily Tempo Storm, though nonetheless, they are going to be aggressing as Arrow gets destroyed with that patented combination of Hunter's Mark, Overcharge, Overpower. Well done by them. Arthalon and Storm Bolton in there. Very aggressive rotation. They are just bossing around a Barrel Boys McIntyre using Metamorphosis as if that Lunar Flare landed, it more than likely would have been the death of him. And looking at the turn-in, how many coins do we have on the side of Tempo Storm? 6, 8, not enough for a turn-in, but the big prize is going to be the boss here in top lane, which is going to allow Tempo Storm to push down the top lane, get a keep, and open up themselves closer and closer to getting the turn-in that kills the core.
And of course, the boss at this stage is going to hit pretty hard if they push with it. They've got the damage from Vala, the damage from Nazebo, of course Tyrande in there as well. Diablo and Uther zoning everyone away. That could easily be a top keep, sorry. Plus the bruiser camp that they still have. They have all 4 there. And Uther can, of course, heal all those up. Brightwing will be getting a hand in, which will barrel towards the mid fort, and it'll be the first fort of the game. No, second fort of the game. No, first. First fort of the game for Barrel Boys. I feel like 17 minutes in, you would have taken at least one, but no.
I know.
As now they've got this boss, they've got 4 mercs, they've got 5 players, barreling towards the Barrel Boys top lane. And you've got to think this is a keep, especially if Trumbull keeps getting caught.
They do have level 20, so they're even keel as far as talents go, but a boss at 18 minutes has such a substantial amount of HP. I don't think no amount of shields, no amount of mule is going to keep this keep alive. It's still at half HP. Are we going to see a potential core push? They're looking to get a pick off on an Arrow. That's been the name of this game the whole entire during Game 3 is Arrow getting blown up in the team fights. He is healthy and he is still alive as Diablo is going to be the one going down there. Might see a little bit of an overextension here from Tempo Stormers. They were feeling good, but right now they are definitely not, as they just got 2 of their heroes taken out in a very small amount of time. Thankfully, Diablo is going to be up. He did have enough souls to keep himself alive, though now they're getting some reprisal kills in the top lane. Uther going down, Tyrande going down, Vala going down. A 4-4-0 exchange. But at the same time, the boss is hitting the core. It is going to get taken down finally. But it got some hull damage done, 64%. Are we going to see a little backdoor action from Barrel Boys, I mean, 45 seconds left. A 2v5 situation. They could absolutely take the game here if they go and they go right now.
They need to go before... As you said, 45 seconds, it's a bit of a weird one. Because they've got so much that they need to push through.
Yep, that's true.
They've got to get, what? At least one tower, a gate, another tower, and a keep. It's a lot of damage, and Diablo and Nazebo can de-push against that. And now with that mule on the core of Barrel Boys, that's going to be 100% before we know it.
Yep.
And it's just going to now come down to hand-ins. Another hand-in will not get bot keep for the team of Tempo Storm. A hand-in for Barrel Boys, however, should get mid keep. So that's where they need to turn their attention to next.
McIntyre in the thick of it. Blink Kill's going in there. Soldier's got to be careful. He's completely separated from the rest of his team. Blinks is so very low. Use the ice block. He doesn't able to use the ice block. He's going to go down. That's a 1-for-1 exchange. Diablo for a bribing. Now McIntyre followed up with a beautiful Ravenous Spirit on top of a Divine Hurricane. Is going to secure the kill on him. And a quick 2-for-1 for Tempo Storm. And all of a sudden, that Pendulum, which initially was definitely in Barrel Boy's favor, swinging all the way over to Tempo Storm's side. And they have a good swing of momentum here. Might be able to get the kill on the Tazadar. Starfall was used. Arrow's going to be going down. He's going to be down for a minute, given 7 coins over to Tempo Storm. They have 8, 10, 14 coins, 6 away from a turn-in. And I have to say, this coin in the top lane has been sitting there for better part of 2 minutes. If Trummel goes down, though, Trummel has 14 coins on a Jaina, nonetheless. That amount of coins on a hero that squishy, that can really spell disaster if he gets picked off.
It certainly can. And he knows this, he's going to have to back away from this one, and again we're seeing Tempo Storm turn their attention to the Merc camps, both easy and hard camps of their opponents. There's a pretty big wave already in the top lane, which is going to get helped alongside these hard camps. And of course the catapults doing their damage as well. We have 3 in the top lane, but they really need to expose this bottom keep and try and push that one down and get so many catapults hammering away on the core.
So very true. As Tempo Storm is looking to end this game, they have 10, they have 14, they have 16, they have 20. 20 coins for Tempo Storm. Barrel Boys has to react to this sooner rather than later. And I feel like they're just a little bit slow. They're finally moving over right now, but I don't know if they're going to be able to delay it. Arthalon was standing there for quite some time, not turning in. This might be the small moment that's going to allow them to defend the turn in. They do barely keep Arthalon off the turn. He was so very close. Immediately reinitiating onto Blackheart, going, Blackheart, let me give you my money, bro. Well, Barrel Boys are going to keep that away. And during this whole entire process, though, this is just a delay game for Tempo Storm. Let's keep an eye on the top lane. It is pushing in and pushing in hard into the core, as well as bottom lane, but being pushed into here. So Tempo Storm, they are feeling great right now. They don't have to take a fight. You have 2 lanes pushing in. We have enough coins to turn in. What is your game plan right now if you're Barrel Boys?
Brightwing has already used TP as well. That's a good 15-second cooldown left on that now. So you're looking at what? If Brightwing bases now, it has to be someone that isn't Brightwing, and they're going to go for Illidan to help with the wave clear. He's gone towards the bot lane. Arthalon is going to get the hand in here. You've got to think this is now a game if they engage here.
A 4-man Divine Hurricane onto Barrel Boys. Dreadnought completely out of position, though. He's going to go down. Meanwhile, over here to the east, Tyrande goes down as well. Oh, my lord here, Haas. 3 down for Tempo Storm. Only 1 for Barrel Boys. Can they push down this keep? Can they get themselves a core? The turn-in is going to narrowly kill this keep. The bottom lane is pushed in with that hard camp. Mid lane is pushed in as well. This right now is thin ice for Barrel Boys. As yes, they do have a 2-man advantage, but they just don't have the power or the resources to do much with it, as at least 2 people have to fall back and clean up these lanes. If not, their core is going to start getting pummeled away on.
If you were Arthalon and you were basing by your enemy's hard camp, would you have decided to push with all 3 of your lanes and get some core damage down?
That actually probably would have been a very good choice, but maybe they felt like they were a little bit afraid to throw, because if Arthalon goes down, then diving underneath the core is very... I mean, they're very susceptible to their core just getting dived.
Yeah, certainly so. I mean, they're going to get some core damage down because catapults deal so much damage. But I mean, look at this, 77%. I mean, if you had Arthalon there as well with the Valor, you're easily looking at 50% and maybe an earlier base from Kayondra and maybe stopping the boss coming out. And you have the Vault, you have the Bolt of the Storm. There's a little bit of a safety net there, but of course they don't want to risk that. Do they have enough for another turn in? I don't think they do, no, not just yet.
Arthalon has 17 coins, and Barrel Boys were putting priority on him as McIntyre was actually diving him with the Illidan. He actually forced a Ravenous Spirit out of the Witch Doctor, which is a really big deal. That's a minute and 10 seconds with no Ravenous Spirit, and no Ravenous Spirit at level 20 is a huge amount of damage that is not going to be there for Tempo Storm. Soldier caught out of position, Shrink Ray, Janus Snares, Archon being put into him. Can he stay alive here? Don't know if he has enough souls. He is going to be getting away in the south. Meanwhile, Airho in the thick of it. McIntyre initiating on a Dreadnought. There's a Divine Hurricane, but can he get away? The shoes are on. He laced him up, but a great hook onto Dreadnought right there, ladies and gentlemen. No Divine Hurricane. He is going to be going down. Down he goes. Arthalon is going to be Storm Bolting away. Arthalon needs to stay alive. He has 17 coins. He cannot go down here, but it looks like he is going to be going down. Jaina goes down, though. A good Hunter's Mark right before he gets picked off. Now, Glaring is going to be going down. A 3-for-1 exchange. And oh my lord, Haas. Our Barrel Boys going to be turning this around? Brightwing is in the base, cleaning up these lanes, so the core is okay. Phase Shift just came up on cooldown, so Brightwing can sit here and clear the lanes. Though with that defensive Breathe Fire, he's going to be able to keep Barrel Boys away from the base, at least for a small amount of time.
This game has been so one-sided towards Tempo Storm all of the game so far. Now
GG.
this. Catapults. Siege camps. So strong. So much damage, and it would be wrong to say...
I thought Brightwing was cleaning him up. I wasn't even looking at the core. I was like, hey, there's a Brightwing there. You're going to be able to clean him up. Nope.
I feel like it would be wrong to say that Tempo Storm didn't deserve to win that. But Barrel Boys fought so hard and for such a long time to try and salvage that.
Wow. Wow, 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 ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations to Tempo Storm pulling out the win in Game 3. What a Game 3 that was, though.
What a series.
Good Lord Almighty. What a series as a whole. I was expecting this right now. Barrel Boys was so close to pulling that out. But just like me, they weren't paying attention to that core HP.
Yep.
And it went down. Tempo Storm, obviously, we're keeping Barrel Boys back from Hearth and Home. And they're going to take that series right there, kind of in a rather anticlimactic manner, if you ask me, because these teams are fighting so very hard for so very long, but weren't able to get that W that Barrel Boys were so seeking. So Tempo Storm, after being stuck in a little bit of a rut, and getting taken down in Titan Arena, getting taken down in round 8 of the European ESL Go for Heroes week number 14, come out of swinging and showing themselves that they have the resolve, they cannot be shaken, and they still are the most dominant North American team Heroes of the Storm has ever seen. Haas, what are your final thoughts about that series as a whole?
That was just an intense game. Like, I've said this before, but I really enjoy covering NA heroes because I feel like the team comps, they're a lot more versatile, they're a lot more different, there's so much more variety in it. And then you get games like that.
Yes.
Like, the Sky Temple game, the Garden of Terror game, it feels so far apart from this epic 25-minute game we had here on Blackheart's Bay where Tempo Storm were ahead for so long and Barrel Boys, they were holding on, and holding on. And then they turn their attention where they think, right, we can push. We just got a 3-for-1 trade. This is great. And then that. And then 3 catapults, 2 siege giants. Such is life.
Such is life. Sometimes you're the catapult. Sometimes
you're the core.
You're the barrel.
Yeah.
And right now, Tempo Storm, well done by them. And I've seen Tempo Storm win in that manner many, many amount of times. Haas, are you going to be sticking around for the next series, or did that one go on just a little bit too long for you?
A little bit too long. It's 10 past 2 here, but even so, I'm glad
right.
I was able to be with you for that one. That was a great game. So, guys, I'm gonna head out now and head to Betty Buys, as us Brits say.
As you Brits say,
yeah,
indeed.
As us Brits say.
Well, Haas, Always a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for bringing that European perspective, which is so needed here in the North America scene right now. Always appreciated. Always a pleasure casting with you, my man.
Right.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a small break. The next series coming at you tonight is going to be Evil Geniuses versus Cloud9 Vortex. Yet another great series to be had between two just phenomenally strong teams. Evil Geniuses has been kind of hit and miss. When they are on point, they are on point. However, Cloud9 Vortex definitely showed that they are a new reinvigorated team with their performance in the most recent ESL Go 4 Heroes. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back with that match in just a moment.